Most people lose arguments because they talk too much. And here's the truth. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is staying silent. But before I show you exactly how to use it, I want you to think about something for a second. Have you ever walked away from an argument feeling small? Not because you were wrong, not because you actually lost, but because the words just wouldn't come out fast enough. You got flustered, your voice cracked, maybe your eyes started to water, and the other person, they just kept going, kept pushing, kept talking right over you. Then later that night, you're driving home, replaying the whole thing in your head. Every line you wish you had said, every comeback you should have delivered. Yeah, I know that feeling. Most of us do. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why that keeps happening and the one simple trick that can change it for good. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes during an argument. The second someone comes at you, raises their voice, says something cruel, tries to make you look stupid, your first instinct is to fight back. You raise your voice too. You try to out-talk them. You start pulling out your receipts. You explain yourself. You defend yourself. And honestly, I get it. That reaction is completely natural. But here's the crazy part. That emotional, defensive, loud reaction, it's exactly what they want from you. Think about it this way. When chaos breaks out in a room, everybody gets louder. Everyone starts talking at once. Voices rise, emotions spike. And in all that noise, nobody is actually in control. But then there's always that one person in the corner. They're not raising their voice, they're not panicking, they're just watching, listening, still. And without saying a single word, that person suddenly becomes the most powerful person in the room. Why? Because control is quiet. Power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't beg to be heard. It simply exists. Now, let me tell you something about the people who try to tear you down. Maybe it's a toxic coworker, a manipulative ex, or a family member who always seems to have something cutting to say. These people, and I say this without exaggeration, they feed on your reaction. Think of them like emotional vampires. Every time you get upset, every time your voice shakes, your face turns red, you start crying or yelling, they feel powerful. They feel like they've won because they got exactly what they came for. Your reaction, your emotion, it's their fuel. But the moment you stop giving it to them, they've got nothing left. Imagine this. A performer walks onto a stage, ready to give their performance of their life. They start their big dramatic monologue. They're loud, intense, cruel, completely committed to the act. Then they look out into the audience, and there's nobody there. No gasps, no tears, no reaction. Just silence. That's exactly what your silence does to someone who's trying to provoke you. It turns their entire performance into a show for an empty theater. And trust me, there is nothing more unsettling for someone who craves your reaction than getting absolutely nothing. Now, we know silence is powerful, but I'm not just going to tell you to stay silent and leave it at that. Because honestly, that's a lot harder than it sounds. When someone is right in your face, being nasty, saying things designed specifically to get under your skin, pure silence can feel impossible. So here's the exact technique I want you to try. It's 4 words. 4 words. The next time someone is being rude to you, a coworker mocking you in a meeting, a partner saying something cutting, someone trying to embarrass you in front of others, I want you to do this. Stop. Take a slow breath, look them directly in the eye, and say calmly, with zero emotion, "You are so right." And then, nothing. Don't explain it, don't follow it with a but, don't roll your eyes, don't smirk. Just let those 4 words hang in the air and watch what happens. Here's the psychology behind why this works, and it's actually brilliant. Their brain was ready for a fight. It was primed for conflict. It expected you to push back, defend yourself, argue, escalate. Instead, you agreed. Now their brain has no script for what just happened. It short circuits. All that aggressive momentum they built up, the emotional energy they came with, suddenly has nowhere to go. It collapses. In one sentence, you just disarm them without firing a single shot. And here's the part most people misunderstand. When you say you are so right, you're not actually admitting they're right. You're not being weak. You're not being a pushover. You're simply choosing not to play the game. And the person who refuses to play the game, they usually win. Think about it. While everyone else is arguing, yelling, and desperately trying to prove they're right, the smartest person in the room is doing something completely different. They let the loud, angry person think they've won. They nod, they stay calm, they stay quiet, and then they walk away. But they walk away with something far more valuable: their dignity, their peace, and their self-control. That's not weakness. That's elite-level emotional discipline. And silence does something else too, something most people never talk about. When you stop reacting, when you stay calm in a moment where everyone expects you to explode, people notice. Everyone notices. And suddenly they start seeing you differently. There's this quiet, unspoken respect that forms around the person who refuses to take the bait. Because calmness in the middle of chaos is powerful. It commands attention without demanding it. Now, I want to say something directly to you. If you've ever walked away from a confrontation feeling like you lost, like you were too slow, too emotional, too small in that moment, I need you to hear this. That was never weakness. It means you feel things deeply. It means you care. And that is not a flaw. That's a strength. The real problem was never that you felt too much. The real problem is that no one ever taught you how to use your calm. Here's something I know for sure. The loudest person in the room is almost never the strongest. Think about the people you've truly respected in your life. Not the ones you feared, not the ones you envied, but the ones you genuinely respected. Were they the ones shouting the loudest? Were they the ones who always needed the last word? Probably not. They were usually the people who spoke less, listened more, and carried this quiet confidence that made you feel like nothing could shake them. And that kind of presence, it's not something you're simply born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. So here's my challenge for you. And I mean this seriously. Try this just once this week. The next time someone comes at you, tries to embarrass you, belittle you, or provoke a reaction, I want you to remember this moment. Take that slow breath. Look them directly in the eye and say those 4 words. You are so right. And then go completely quiet. No explanation, no emotion. Just stillness. And watch how quickly the energy in that room shifts. Watch how fast they lose their power. Watch how the people around you suddenly see you differently. Because you didn't fight. You didn't beg. You didn't break. You simply stayed still. And in that stillness, you won. If this video helped you today, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to someone else who might really need this right now. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.